Hello everyone, this is Steven, aka HyperVoiceActing, and I wanted to talk about a project that I know a lot of people were really looking forward to, but I've been very quiet about, and I think you all deserve to know what exactly has been going on with it. So for those of you that don't know, 2 years ago I uploaded a teaser for what was intended to be an ongoing Crash Bandicoot Q&A series called, well, Ask Crash Bandicoot. And progress for the first episode was coming along fairly well. All of the voice work was done, the audio editing was just about finished. The only thing that was holding the episode back was that I wasn't able to finish all of the art assets that I wanted for the series. You know, all of the character emotes, the background, so on and so forth. And the thing with that is that I decided to take on the very gargantuan task of handling all of the art, and I mean all of the art by myself, because I didn't want to pester any other artists with this kind of task, and I didn't really have the money to spend to commission anyone to do the art for me, so I just decided to do all of it myself. Well, people that know me well know that I have a habit of taking on a lot of different projects at once, whether it be art commissions, video editing for other people, so on and so forth. And after a while, I kind of got some really bad creative burnout, which is a little embarrassing considering some of the other projects I was balancing along with Ask Crash technically still aren't finished yet. They're getting in good ways though, like the avatar part, it's coming along fine, please do not bug me about it. And the other video that I was working on in conjecture with the other two, that's coming along fine. The thing is that I could not really bring myself to really work on a lot of Ask Crash because, again, burnout, and I wasn't feeling particularly satisfied with the art that I was making for the series. Not to mention the co-writers that I had helping me with the series, who also voiced Crash and Coco. They obviously had their own things doing as well, so I think we just kind of agreed that the series was more or less shelved for now. However, I know a lot of people were really looking forward to seeing this project, so I don't want to leave you all empty-handed. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to upload everything that has been done for episode 1, just so I don't end up leaving you guys empty-handed. Like I said, a lot of it was done. The audio is basically finished, you know, aside from like some music choices here and there. I'll probably add those in as I'm editing this video. Again, it's mainly the art assets that I just was not able to finish. I'll probably show up like some bits of it that I've done here and there, just to show you what progress I did make on it, but again, I'm really sorry that I've been keeping you guys waiting so long for this particular video. I really wanted to get it done, but unfortunately, it just wasn't looking like it was going to get finished anytime soon. And again, I blame myself for juggling as many projects as I have been. I really do need to get better about that. But enough moping, enough personal blaming and whatnot. Here is the mostly sort of kind of finished episode 1 of Ask Crash Bandicoot. Thank you for humoring me for this little, like, prologue tangent about the project. Once again, I'm really sorry for anyone that was really waiting for this, only to not deliver it to the way you all were hoping it was delivered. Hopefully this makes up for it. I hope you enjoyed the video regardless of its state, and I hope you all have a grand day.
Crash? Coco? It's been a while since I've seen those two ever since they posted that video. I wonder what they're up to. Oh, Crash! I'm coming, my son!
For the last time, Crash, my USB hub is not a Wumpa Fruit grater.
Crash! Coco! Oh, are you both alright? I heard the noise from inside.
We're okay, Aku Aku. Crash was just, helping me set up for the first episode of our Q&A series.
Oh. You two are still working on that?
Yeah, we are. Why wouldn't we?
Well, considering you two posted that video on April Fool's Day, I thought it was meant to be some elaborate joke.
I never joke about YouTube clout, Aku Aku. Hey, why don't you join us? You can read out the questions we get to answer.
Well, I don't see any harm in doing that. So, which one do I read first?
Whoa!
Ha 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 ha! The Doc is back in town, baby! You two were so busy working on your precious little online show that you didn't prepare yourself for my inevitable return.
Oh, Cortex! Great timing. We're just about to start. Want to join us?
As amusing as it is to hear you beg for mercy, your destruction has been long over. Say what now?
Our Q&A show. We could use an extra guest. So, do you want to join us?
Your Q&A? No! I'm here to destroy you!
Yeah, we all know the drill. You show up, do a cheesy evil laugh, Crash stops you, rinse and repeat.
Well, this time will be different, you wretched furball!
How? In what way exactly?
Well, I did it on a Tuesday instead. World domination was always more of a Friday event.
Look, are you gonna make flimsy excuses or help us?
I'm not really sure if this is a good idea, Coco. What if Cortex tries to sabotage your show?
No worries. Me and Crash can handle him.
You really think that I'd stoop so low as to try and sabotage your childish little YouTube video? Fine, I'll help you.
Awesome! So what's our first question, Aku Aku?
And it had better be for me. We have to start things off on a high note, you know.
I'll take that under consideration. From Roblox Dennis Productions, do you guys have any pets? That was my only question.
Well, of course we have pets. Crash has Polar, and we've seen him pop up a few times. And there's Purra, who I found back when we were trying to stop Cortex and Uka Uka from using the Time Twister. I don't know how he followed us back from feudal Japan, but he really seems to have taken a liking to me.
Uh-huh. They're good pets.
Well, I'm not entirely sure about Polar. If I'm not mistaken, he seemed to have had some sort of beef with you back in Twinsanity. Not that I blame him. I would have loved to see him go to town on you with that baseball bat.
Maybe he wanted pinata?
Yes, piñata. A Bandicoot-shaped piñata.
Lay off him, Cortex. Although I don't recall Polar doing anything that mean. Then again, I don't recall a whole lot of that adventure. I wonder why.
Oh, come on. It was just a harmless paralysis. I could have actually shot you dead, but I didn't.
Instead, you just broke into our house and raided her wardrobe?
It makes sense in context, I swear.
You're a sicko.
From Reality Bender the Cool Boy, Crash, how did you feel when you were riding on Cortex and Twinsanity?
Crash did what?
That animal used me as a human snowboard twice! And let me tell you, it was far from a pleasant experience. I felt like my skin was being peeled off my face. And don't even get me started on how he, well, ruptured my goods during the grinding section. It was not funny! It was very painful! Which is how I would describe my entire relationship with Crash. And maybe my mother.
Aw, I'm sorry, buddy.
Don't you buddy me! Just bring up the next question already.
From Anime Geek 24/7 to Crash, did you ever get Coco that extra battery for her laptop?
Well, no. Because somebody teleported him away before he could reach our house.
It was for a greater good.
You manipulated Crash to help you gather crystals.
I said it was for a greater good. Mine.
After I noticed how long it took for Crash to get back, I just went back home and got the battery myself. That's when I tried to reach out to Crash and check on him.
Sorry, Coco.
Don't worry, Crash. I'm not mad at you. I feel like if anything, Cortex should be apologizing.
Over my dead body.
Well, there are plenty of people I can think of who'd love to get their hands on you, so that could be arranged.
Aw, come on.
Thank you, Crash. Maybe you're not as barbaric as I thought you were. At least one of you has some decency. Oh, how mature of you.
If you both are done bickering, should I resume reading questions?
Sorry, Aku Aku. Go ahead.
Thank you, child. From Brandon Million, Cortex, what was your favorite invention that you created?
Finally, one for the real star of the series. Well, I make so many groundbreaking inventions, it'd seem unfair to pick just one. Of course, there's the Cortex Vortex, the marvelous machine I use to convert the filthy mongrels of the world to obey my every command. And then there's my fabulous airship, acting as my mobile hub of operations. But I'd have to say the one I rely on the most is my trusty blaster.
This simple but elegant piece of offensive technology can incinerate anyone unfortunate enough to get caught in its crosshairs. It can also paralyze them, turn them into platforms, and even functions as a decent hedge trimmer and can dispense frozen yogurt.
Okay, we get it! God, what a hothead.
It can also be used to shut up obnoxious teenagers who don't respect their creators. Want a demonstration?
Cortex, enough! You will not harm these children as long as I am here to protect them.
Well, if you insist, old man.
Blueberry flavor.
Huh. I guess I should have double-checked the presets on this thing before I came here. Ah! That was needlessly rude!
From Toon Goon Cartoon EJ. Why did Ripperoo get zapped twice with the EvolveO Ray?
Well, it was more of a precaution zap. The first time I used it on him, it didn't seem like anything had changed about him. So I gave him another shot and, well, that's how we got the deranged kangaroo we know today.
Man, I can only imagine how Crash would have turned out if he got zapped twice by the EvolveO Ray.
I get the feeling he'd somehow turn into an even bigger headache to deal with than he already is.
Proving yet again how you shouldn't try to use your sadistic science to tamper with the natural order, especially when you seem to have a hard time controlling them.
Hey, I was doing just fine before Crash got rejected from the Vortex. Besides, it'll take more than one dumb reject to squander my ambitions.
Even if said dumb reject has had no problem squandering those ambitions for the past few decades?
Honestly, why did the EvolveO Ray give you such an irritating sense of sass?
Oh, it's funny you mention Coco, Doctor. From ZJ Cartoons, I have a question for Coco. Where were you when the events of Crash Bandicoot 1 were occurring?
Oh, after Crash escaped, I decided to turn my attention to one of the other Bandicoots I had captured, hoping they'd turn out to be a more obedient general than that numbskull.
I'm pretty sure they were asking me that question, Cortex. But yeah, Cortex experimented on me next, and put me through a bunch of physical tests just like he did with Crash. I think I might have overheard Engine and Embryo during those tests too. They talked about a lot of stuff while I was going through them. Something about cats and Embryo's old overalls?
What? I couldn't have my soldiers running around naked. Besides, you didn't seem to mind it all these years.
You put me in an old man's overalls?
If it makes you feel better, Crash's pants are hand-me-downs too.
Ugh, let's just go to the next question before I puke thinking further about it.
From Slickframe. Woohoo! This gonna be good. Question for everyone. How do you feel about your redesigns in Crash of the Titans?
From one disgusting thing to another.
Well, some of them were better than others.
I like the tattoos.
You all somehow looked even more hideous than you did before. Crash looked like a malnourished hyena who raided the dumpster behind a bar. Coco looked like a rejected alien monster from that Ratchet and Clank series. Aku Aku looks like a diseased gorilla who ripped off his face and covered it with wood chips. And my god, don't even get me started on how they botched my stunning godlike physique.
I don't know, I'd say he looks about as easy on the eyes as you usually do.
I looked like an old geezer who rubbed blueberry jam in his hair.
Blueberries.
Well, at least I'm still one of the funnier characters in that game. And then Nina got that ungrateful brat to shut up for most of it. So I guess it wasn't a complete loss.
So it didn't feel embarrassing to get your big boss status stripped away from you by your own niece?
It might not be one of my proudest moments, but it was so adorable seeing Nina finally grow up to be her own supervillain. She made her old man proud.
Aww.
Crash, she tried to kill you.
Fair point.
From Lone Reviewer. So, Crash, Coco, do you both make food with Wumpa fruit, or do you just eat it raw?
Well, I don't mind eating them raw, but I usually like to prepare them for salads, drinks, or desserts. Crash, however, almost always eats them raw.
Wampas.
I'm glad you children enjoy them. Wumpa fruits are quite delectable, especially right after they finish ripening.
Aren't they just knockoff apples, though? They're even called apples in Japan.
They do have quite a few similarities to apples, true. I always thought they tasted more like mangoes.
Yeah, but they're still good. Cortex is just annoyed he can't enjoy them because of his allergies.
That is personal information I'd rather not disclose to my adoring public.
Whatever you say, Periwinkle.
I will annihilate you!
From Clean Fox Boy. This one is for Coco. Why your head becomes more and more weird in games? Okay. In Crash Mind of a Mutant, in Crash 4, and in the mobile game, it's weird.
Weird? What do you mean it's weird?
Actually, now that you mention it, your cranium does seem to fluctuate in shape as the years go by. An unforeseen side effect of the Evolve Ray, perhaps, but hilarious all the same.
Crash, Waku, my head isn't weird, is it?
It looks fine.
Right. Besides, you shouldn't feel worried about how you look or how others perceive you. What matters most is that you love yourself, and that the people who care about you do too.
Ugh, you're going to make me nauseous spewing out all that sap, you piece of driftwood. She's a mutant! Of course she's going to look weird! Same goes for Crash and all the other abominations I created.
You really think that about your own creations?
Why shouldn't I? They don't seem to mind.
I'm an abomination!
Oh, grow up, you crybabies.
From Just Defender, please confirm, guys. Did your universe's Tawna really dump Crash for Pinstripe? Do you keep in contact with her at all? Or is it the other one you hang with now?
Yeah, she kind of did. It was pretty out of nowhere for all of us. Poor Crash was just devastated for days.
Oh, the look on his pathetic face was just too good. That being said, I do think it's odd how she wound up with Pinstripe of all people. Guess women love a man in a suit.
As for keeping in touch, we do kind of see her from time to time. I'm still not over how rudely she dumped Crash, but he seems to have gotten over it pretty easily.
Yeah, I just want to stay friends.
So honestly, it could be a lot worse. And yeah, we still hang out with the other Tawna too. She's really awesome. Honestly, a lot nicer than the last one.
So wait, does the other Tawna just live here now? And has she met our Tawna yet? What kind of multiversal ramifications would that cause?
I'm sure it can't be that bad. I mean, Entropy met up with his alternate universe self and—
Don't! Please, just... The less we speak about those two, the better. I still haven't finished bleaching out the images in my eyes.
Ugh, good call.
From Yoshi Tales 13. So this question is for Crash and Coco. How's Crunch been doing? Is he like an older brother to you guys?
Oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah, once he broke free from Cortex's mind control, he's been surprisingly sweet to us. Guess all he needed was a real family.
Oh, stow your sentimental nonsense. Because of you two, I lost yet another prime candidate for my mutant army! Although maybe it was for the best, because he didn't prove himself to be that competent of a warrior. Even with the elementals empowering him, he still proved ineffective at stopping that brainless Bandicoot.
Sounds to me that you aren't very good at your job if your only competent creations always betray you.
You!
Bazinga!
What? Who just said that?
How long has he been there?
From GamerBoy94. Crash, how many crates did you break in your lifetime?
Ugh, too many.
Well, let's see here. Most Crash levels tend to have somewhere around 40 to 90 boxes in them. Unless we're talking Crash 4, which is a bit more generous in the 100 and 400 box area. The first 3 Crash games had about 20 to 30 levels, so when you multiply that by, say, 50 boxes per level per game—
A lot! Just say a lot.
Yeesh, I was just trying to answer their question.
They asked for an answer, not an algebra quiz.
Well, excuse me for trying to educate our fans.
What education are you expecting them to need? These are platforming games.
7,546. Give or take.
From NC Redux. To Crash and Coco. If you had the chance, would you try to bring the villains like Cortex, Tiny Tiger, etc. to the good side?
Are you serious? Why would I ever align myself with these rodents?
Well, it wouldn't be the first time you had to team up with Crash. Remember when you both fought off the evil twins?
That was for my own reasons. They were going to destroy our world, and I couldn't conquer it if it was destroyed.
And when you helped us stop the end trophies?
That was just to get revenge on him for double-crossing me.
You may not want to admit it, but you do seem to be more efficient at being a good guy than you are a villain.
I don't want to hear any of it. I'm a bad guy. I hate you, and I want to conquer this world. End of discussion.
As for other villains, Dingodile is already kind of a good guy, I guess. I know he's not working for Cortex anymore, if nothing else, and I'm pretty sure Embryo doesn't want to work with him either. I'm not really sure how easy it'd be to get the others to switch sides, though.
That is one thing I do adore about my band of misfit idiots. Above all else, they're loyal to me to the very end. A man couldn't ask for more passionate minions.
Aw, that's actually kind of sweet in a backhanded evil kind of way.
See? Even my compliments are evil.
From Brendan Million. Crash, who was your favorite boss to fight in the original trilogy?
This seemed like an odd question to me, not gonna lie. That's like asking who his favorite person who's tried to kill him.
I'd say Cortex.
Oh, how expected of you. Let me guess, you really love bruising my ego, on top of my suffering body.
No, I just like hanging out with you.
Why are you being so weirdly nice to me? Even with how many times I've tried to kill you, you still act so oblivious and kind.
I don't know. I just am.
It's because, in spite of his limited brain power, Crash is essentially a good and kind soul. Even towards people like you who don't deserve it.
Oh, I'm so touched.
I don't think he deserves it either, but I can't deny that it's a very sweet gesture.
Crash slowly walks up to Cortex, his arms wide, ready for a big hug.
Don't even think about it, Bandicoot.
From Joshua Woods. Favorite track and CTR for both Crash and Coco.
Ooh, ooh, Blizzard Bluffs.
Ooh, that's a fun one. I know a lot of people would probably expect me to say Coco Park because, well, it's named after me, but I actually have a lot of fun driving around Papu's Pyramid. I love the view from the tops of the temples, and the shortcuts are great too.
Seriously? None of you even considered my castle? Also known as the objectively best track in the game?
Hot Air Skyway is a really fun track too, and I love the casino touch-ups that got nitro-fueled.
Oh, Tiny Arena too.
Right, I almost forgot about that one too.
Are you two ignoring me on purpose?
Actually, I mentioned the touch-ups in nitro-fueled. Are we allowed to pick the extra tracks from it too? Because I love Gingerbread Joyride and Koala Carnival.
Gingerbread.
Why aren't you acknowledging my input on this? Doesn't anyone care about my opinions?
No.
From JC. Crash, what are your thoughts on Cadicarus?
Cat Icarus? Wait, are we allowed to mention Nintendo characters here?
No, not Kid Icarus. Cat Icarus. He's a popular British YouTuber who makes video reviews on games. He's also known for being a big fan of Crash's.
Yeah, he's really funny.
Well, right off the bat, anyone who finds you entertaining clearly doesn't have high standards.
Bugger off! Anyway, he's pretty funny, but he's also a bit odd sometimes. Also, his videos aren't exactly kid-friendly, so all of you younger viewers might want to wait till you're older before you watch his content.
Calling him a big fan of Crash is a gross understatement. He apparently made a tier list of Crash's butts in all the games.
Huh?
Yeah, like I said, he's a bit odd.
This man needs to be institutionalized.
From Toy Freddy. Here's my question for Coco. Coco, do you ever get mad at Crash?
Oh ho ho, this ought to be good.
Well, I won't lie. He can be a bit annoying to deal with sometimes. He doesn't always understand me when I ask him questions or for help with things, and he's not careful with my things. Plus, he's not exactly the tiniest person to live with.
Yes, that's right. Really lay the hate on thick.
He's an absolute slub whenever he eats, and he almost never thinks things through when he does anything.
Don't stop now. Keep making him feel miserable.
But...
No buts. This is about being mad at that numbskull. Stay mad at him.
I know that he means well, and has a heart the size of Wumpa Island itself. He always tries his best to help people, and even if he drives me up a wall sometimes, I can't stay mad at him because he's just a good big brother.
Aww.
Bleh, you two make me sick. Why can't you two be bitter and resentful to each other like actual siblings? Like Aku Aku and Uka Uka?
Truthfully, I wish things would be better between myself and Uka Uka. He's too far gone in the dark path and refuses any chance for redemption. It's the shattered bond we no longer share why I greatly appreciate Crash and Coco's bond. If more families were as loving to each other as you two are, the world might truly be a better place.
I think my arteries are getting clogged up from this unneeded overdose of sickening sweetness. Please tell me we're almost over.
That was the last question that was on the list Coco showed me, so I do believe we are finished.
Thank God. This experience was a lot more draining than I expected it to be.
Don't worry, Cortex. You don't have to be in our future videos. Honestly, I feel like things from here might go a bit smoother without you.
And what is that supposed to mean? You think people are going to keep watching knowing that the real star of the series is gone?
Well, it's not your name on the title, so why would you assume you're the star again?
Please, like the two of you alone could carry a show.
Yeah, you're so right, Cortex. Since we could never carry the show on without your intellect, why don't you stick around and help us answer some more questions?
I'm not some busboy or lackey. You can't order me around or tell me what I can and can't do.
But don't you see, Cortex? We could never be able to do that since we are but simple marsupials. We need your help, otherwise we could never go on with the show. Plus, if you did leave, I think your adoring fans would be very upset. That, and if you don't do it, Crash is gonna wreck your lab up again.
Not my lab! I just fixed it back up! Plus, I don't want to disappoint the massive amount of fans I have. Fine, I suppose I'll do this one favor for you, Bandicoot. But it better be worth it.
Great! Then the show goes on. We'll see you all next time. Keep those questions coming.
Wait, did you just coerce me into doing more episodes with you three?
Yep.
Why, you blasted infernal Bandicoot!